Hello and welcome to lesson 7-6. Today we're going to look at solving two-step inequalities. To solve two-step inequalities, it's actually very similar to solving two-step equations. The only thing we have to keep in mind is if we're multiplying or dividing by that negative number, then we are going to have to reverse the inequality. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few examples. Example 1 says to solve 2y minus 3 is less than or equal to negative 5. Well, if you recall, we have to undo anything that's attached to the variable first. So right now, I need to get the 2y piece by itself. So to do that, I need to undo my subtraction of 3 by adding 3 to both sides. That's going to leave me with 2y is less than or equal to a negative 2. Then I can go ahead and undo the 2 from the y now. And really this is 2 times y, so I'm going to undo the multiplication with division. So I divide both sides by 2. I'm dividing by a positive so that I can leave my inequality in the same direction that it is. So I really have y is less than or equal to a negative 1. For example 2, we have to solve negative 9 is greater than negative 1/3 x plus 6. Now in this case, we want to get our negative 1/3 x piece by itself, and we're going to do that by subtracting 6 first. So now I have a negative 9 plus a negative 6 is going to give me a negative 15, and this is greater than a negative 1/3 x because these are going to cancel. Now I can go ahead and get rid of that negative 1/3 x. And that negative 1/3 x is negative 1/3 is attached to x by multiplication. So if I divide both sides by a negative 1/3, these are going to cancel. And really what I have is I have negative 15 divided by a negative 1/3. And when you divide by a fraction, remember you keep the first term, change the sign from division to multiplication, and flip the last term. So keep, change, flip. So I'm going to multiply this by a negative 3/1. So now what I end up with then is I have a negative 15 times a negative 3, which is a positive 45. And that is going to be, I did have to divide or multiply in this case by a negative number, so I have to reverse my inequality, and then I have my x. Now because I do like to write x first, I am going to just rewrite this real quick and write it as x is greater than 45. Okay, and remember the opening of the inequality is facing the x here, so that when I write x, that opening also has to be facing the variable. Please go ahead and pause the video and try to do this one on your own. On this example, it says to solve 2m plus 4 is less than or equal to 34. So again, I want to get this piece by itself. So I will subtract 4 from both sides, leaving me with 2m is less than or equal to a positive 30. I'm going to divide both sides by divide both sides by 2. And because I'm not dividing by a negative, I am actually dividing by a positive, I get to keep my inequality the same. And 30 divided by 2 is 15. So I'm left with m is less than or equal to 15. And for my final example today, I have, we are going to solve 6 minus x is greater than 3. So ultimately what I need to do is I need to get this negative x piece by itself. And I'm going to do that. I really have a positive 6 being added to a negative x, because I could write this as 6 plus a negative x, don't forget. So because of that, I need to undo my 6, and I'm going to undo that by subtracting 6 from both sides. This is going to leave me with a negative x, and that is greater than a negative 3. Now, if you remember, we can't have a negative variable when we're solving. So to get rid of that negative sign, I'm really just going to go through and divide both sides by a negative 1. So now I have x. Because I divided by that negative, I must reverse that inequality, and now I'm left with x is less than 3. And this would be my final answer. Please let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day.